Hey, what's up, you guys? Happy Wednesday. Good. This week has gone by so fast already. I know the show is usually on Tuesday, but my crazy schedule out here in Los Angeles is making it very hard to do so. So I apologize, but I thank you guys all for tuning in to episode 4 of Ask Mackenzie. What's up, Todd? What's up, Jared Devil? What's up, my friends? How are we feeling after this weekend of seeing those playoff games? I personally feel worn out, tired, ready for a break it's crazy. I never thought that I'd feel like I need a break from football, but this game, the Bengals, the Bengals Chiefs game really just tired me out, you guys, and it's just I'm ready for this off season of building and growing and just really just focusing in on us because there's so much outside noise, there's so much going on outside in the NFL. Speaking of which, Tom Brady announced his retirement today. I don't know how many of you guys have seen that already, but it's about time, man. I mean, we all saw it coming. You have to think about it, like, so much went wrong for him this season. And I've heard so many people say, well, Tom Brady's not going to end like that. Tom Brady's going to come back for another year. He's going to do what Tom Brady does and end on a Tom Brady note. Well, if Tom Brady did that a few years ago and he said he's coming back. So it's a little interesting. But anyways, enough of that. Anybody listen to Pat Freiermuth on Big Ben's podcast the other day? Because I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was a pretty good interview. I learned a few things in the sense that it made a lot of sense. Questions were answered for me about the offense, and I was also reassured with what we were thinking about why the offense kind of did what they did at the end of the season and why things went so wrong for us at the beginning of the season. And, listening to Ben talk, it's so great to hear him talk. It's so nice to just see Ben as Ben and not as quarterback Ben, but just like Ben as a human, because we never really got to see much of that, when he was our quarterback. We're just seeing like football Ben. And now that, I've watched this podcast, it really opened my eyes a little more into what kind of was going on and what went on and, why things may have not been super 100% on offense this season. So he had Pat Freiermuth on, and they were talking about, obviously the rookie quarterback, coming in, taking over for Mitchell Trubisky. At the beginning of the season, they all thought, this vet Mitchell Trubisky was going to be the guy that was going to help him get through the season, the guy that's going to replace Ben. And Pat kind of touched on it wasn't working. It just wasn't working. And then Kenny came in. And when Kenny came in, things were very off at first. But what do you expect? He's a rookie quarterback coming in the middle of the season. What do you expect, So I want to touch on the fact that the reason why the offense wasn't, well, we've talked about this before. The reason why the offense wasn't as good as it was is because of the communication and the connection. And I've talked about this before. If you guys have been here before, you've heard me talk about being connected on offense is a huge thing. So when Pat was asked the question, what was it like for you this season without Ben? Because he knows what it's like to play under Ben. And Pat was like, if we were, 2 minutes left in the game, we needed to make plays. We knew what we had to do. All we had to do was look at Ben, and Ben would just give us the look, and we would go and we would make it happen. And unfortunately, with this year, it's not going to happen overnight with a rookie quarterback. But Pat really did touch on the fact that the reason why they were doing a lot better at the end of the season was because of the fact that Kenny was willing to learn. He had that the urgency with him grew when we were in the 2-minute warning. There was more urgency with him. And that was why we had seen him, do what he did for us, win the last 4 games for us. I'm pretty sure it was the last 4. It was something that Kenny could have made a decision and he could have been pouty. He could have been not a team player. But one thing that Pat said was, we weren't sure if this was our guy, but the fact that this guy was able to really hone in, connect with the guys, do what he could to make sure that we would win the rest of our games. He said Kenny's it. Pat said Kenny is it. This is our guy. So this just goes to show that we are going down a right path. We are going in the direction that we need to go. And even Ben said that, the beginning of next season's probably not going to be the best. We might have a few hiccups, and that's okay because we're still testing out new things. But it's going to be so much better when we have a full off season of working with Kenny Pickett as QB1 and getting those reps and getting this offense really fully connected. And I truly believe that next season is going to be unlike any other. Sorry, Todd, I took a little to get to your comment, but Todd said Muth mentioned that they didn't have hot routes. Given that Kenny was a rookie, he has a way to go in reading defenses pre-snap. It will come. Yes. So the fact that Kenny was just even able to make that adjustment mid-season shows so much about him and his talent and how much he is willing to help this Steeler Nation grow. And it warms my heart that we have a quarterback that is so passionate about this team. And it's like, when you recruit guys, not recruit guys, but when you draft guys, when you're ready to build your team, you want to make sure that you're choosing the right guys. The Steelers had a decision to make who they were going to pick first last year. And I'm pretty sure one of the major factors in picking Pickett was because of his passion for the city of Pittsburgh. And not every team can say that they have that. Not every team can say that they have a quarterback that is already familiar with the city itself. And it's just something that I just get super excited about. So I want to pivot to my next topic. What do we think about Mike Tomlin's contract? So I've been seeing things online about Mike Tomlin and should he get a full new contract when his contract's up? And I know this is speculation. I know we have a long way to go, but looking at what some of the other teams are doing around the NFL, okay? And then looking at us, the Steelers, how unique we are and what we've done with Mike Tomlin. Do you think that it's safe to say that we will be okay, we will win another Super Bowl with Mike Tomlin if things continue to get better with what we have going on for us right now? So we have Jersey Boy. Hi, Jersey Boy. How are you guys today? He says some fan wants to rush things with a young team. Fan needs to have patience. Jersey Boy, what do you think? Do you think that this patience, having patience, is going to all come in linked together with Mike Tomlin? Because look, dude, we've had him for 16 seasons, all winning, 2 Super Bowls. We need to win another Super Bowl with him. And if we don't, he's probably going to get the boot. But if we have the chance to go back to a Super Bowl, is it safe to say that he deserves to get a new contract and stick around? Because at this point, I believe in Mike Tomlin and I trust in him to get us to where we need to be. And if we don't have all those little keys, and if we don't have all those little things, those pieces that put the pie together, then we're not going to go back to a Super Bowl. You can't just sit here and say it's all one person. You can't say that. It's a team effort. It's a collective effort. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that Mike Tomlin should get a new contract? This is another very interesting topic I want to touch on. Jersey Boy says he needs to stay. Why do you think he needs to stay, Jersey Boy? Do you think that Mike Tomlin knows, he knows what's best for us? He really knows what's best for us. Do you think that he, has some learning to do as well? Like, do you think that the team is going to be able to help him kind of like navigate what we need to do to make it to another Super Bowl? Because we see all of these teams putting together something special right now. And we have to give a lot of credit to these teams because it is taking time, and it's going to take time. And yes, they have new coaches. We don't have a new coach. We've had the same coach for a while. So do you think it's a matter of Mike Tomlin, conforming to what is happening with the change of the NFL? Like looking at what the Nick Siriannis, the Brian Dabolls, the Mike McDaniels, like what are they doing with their plays and with their men to get them to become the elite, the best in the NFL? Do we think that it's still something that Mike Tomlin can do for us? Also, guys, I want to touch on this. This is the best energy drink out there. I'm going to probably have one of these every week because it's my favorite thing. Natural sugar, natural flavors, but they do have artificial flavors in it. This is like a Warheads, sour Warheads, you guys. Something sour, candy-like, but an energy drink. Get Ghost. It's the best. Sponsor me. All right. I want to know what you guys think about this weekend's matchup. What former Pittsburgh Steeler are you excited to see in the Super Bowl? Do you guys feel happy for Juju? Are you happy that he has made it to a Super Bowl? Are you happy that he was talking major crap about us and made it to a Super Bowl? What do you think that all is like happening there? Like, I don't agree with players leaving your team, talking crap about your team, and still saying you have love for the city. In my mind, it makes no sense. So I want to know what y'all thoughts are. Do you agree with Juju Smith-Schuster coming after the Steelers and still making it to the Super Bowl? Because for me, it's like, you're dissing my team. I'm going to back my team up. Todd from earlier said, Tomlin is a great coach and a master motivator. Fans that hate him are unreasonable, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with this statement because why would you hate him? Because we didn't make it to the playoffs? And I don't think that's our fault. I don't think that's his fault at all. You can't just sit here and say that Tomlin is the reason that we didn't make it to the playoffs. Because that's just not fair. It's not fair. With everything that we had going on this season, from injuries, to coaches still trying to learn what their quarterback is going to do on offense for them, you can't just sit here and say things are going to click like that the way you want to. Yes, so what I was saying earlier, those teams that are doing great, they have taken a while to get it right. Like, let's go back. I don't like talking about the Patriots, but you go back and you see what they did and what they built with Tom Brady. Like a nobody. Like, nobody knew that Tom Brady was going to be Tom Brady when Tom Brady got drafted. Like, hello. That is an example right there. And then you see, like, the coaching trees begin. The Kyle Shanahans, what they've done with the 49ers, that their ability to overcome what they overcame this year and still made it to the divisional championship. Like, you got to conform to the way the NFL is going if you want to continue to be a competitor in the NFL. You guys, I want to know who you're excited to see in the Super Bowl. Javon Hargrave? Are you excited to see Juju? Who are you most excited to see? Because personally, I don't want to see Juju do well. Is that bad? I'd rather see Javon Hargrave do better and win the Super Bowl, but it's just me kind of being like a little annoyed with Juju Smith-Schuster. But it's fine. It's fine. Whatever happens, happens. They each want to win a Super Bowl. I guess they weren't able to do it. He wasn't able to do it with the Steelers. So here we are, trying to find our way to make a Super Bowl run and then win. Kind of like what OBJ was doing last year when he was like fishing for the team that was going to get him to a Super Bowl. Kind of not really what Juju did, but Juju went to a really good team that was able to help him go to the Super Bowl. So who do you guys think? Who are you guys most excited to see? Do you guys still have love for Juju? Are you guys excited for him, or are you just like, nope, I don't want him to win? I know that we are also looking for a senior offensive assistant. I guess they're looking for someone to kind of help Matt Canada. Is this, from my understanding, a senior offensive assistant? They're saying Brian Leftwich, Joe Lombardi, Scott Turner could be a good candidate. Now that's a little interesting. Oh, Todd says, I don't agree with everything Juju says, but I don't resent him. I guess I'd rather have Hargrave get a ring. Yeah, that's kind of like what my mindset is too. I mean, I don't resent him by any means. I'm just kind of annoyed with the fact that these players like think that they can say whatever they want and like not have consequences with what they say. Lord forbid anyone has a different opinion than you do. That's unreasonable part of your comment. What are you talking about? Hello, Pepper. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know what that was about, but yeah. So you guys, what do you all think? Everyone's opinion matters here. So, I sometimes I don't think that, it was the right decision to, I don't know. Do you guys agree with that? Like, what do you guys think? Do you agree? Do you agree with that? Fans that hate him are unreasonable, in my opinion. And that's the unreasonable part. You guys, it's fine. It's not a big deal. Tomlin is a good coach, and everyone has their own opinion. If you don't think that he's a good coach, and that's your opinion, and you're free to say whatever you want. So I think that this weekend is going to be a very interesting Super Bowl. Something that we could see a really good game. I think for the first time in a while. I mean, not that last year wasn't a good Super Bowl between the Bengals and the Rams, but I mean, again, with the way these two teams have played all season, you could say that this is going to be a high-scoring game. Jersey Boy says it's 32 teams, only one champion. It's not easy to win a championship. Exactly. And at the beginning of the season, I was saying that the Bills were going to go all the way. And then look what happened. There are so many talented teams out there in the NFL right now, you guys. It's not fair to say, it's like walking down to the park and, running a mile. It's not easy. That's not how the NFL works. It's hard work. Do you hear that noise? It's like a knocking noise. I think someone's knocking on the door. Pepper says, you're a hardcore fan of your team. Good times and sucky times, they are my team, win or lose. And I love that. I love that. Fans that are able to get over the negativity and love your team at the end of the day, that's my girl. That's my girl right there. You guys, who do you think would be a better option for a key offensive coaching assistant, senior offensive assistant? Would you rather have Byron Leftwich, Joe Lombardi, or Scott Turner? Who would you guys rather have? Todd says, as a Pirates fan too, I think I understand what a true utility looks like. The Steelers are consistently competitive. Yeah, and you got to hand it to them. They don't give up. They don't just sit there and feel sorry for themselves, because there are so many teams out there that like sit there and they're like, man, we're not good. And then just accept it. How can you just sit there and accept the fact that you're not good? The urgency, I think, is important. And that's what Pat Freiermuth said today or yesterday on the 2 days ago on the podcast, was that when the urgency picks up and when you're motivated to get back to that way of being the Pittsburgh Steelers, the winning Pittsburgh Steelers, things will click better. Drunk Turkey Show says Lombardi would be a better option for a senior offensive assistant. Okay. Todd says probably Leftwich. Pepper says, I don't know, Lombardi maybe. All right, well, let's talk about some things that they've done. Okay, so Byron Leftwich was in the offensive room with Bruce Arians, Tom Brady, and with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But do you think that, given the circumstances of what happened with the Bucs this year, things weren't clicking for them? Do you think that maybe like Tom Brady and Byron Leftwich maybe didn't have a good relationship? Maybe that's why. So do you think that maybe if, he comes to the Steelers, maybe things would be better here? This senior offensive assistant is kind of like a made up position, right? In a way. Someone can have this guy in a role, but it won't ruin the season if someone isn't given this position, right? So we need to bring more ideas, bottom line, into the locker room. He doesn't have a Super Bowl ring, so we'll see. Let's see. Lombardi was with the Chargers. Doesn't mean that he doesn't deserve to come back into another NFL locker room. He was with Brandon Staley, and, we saw how the Chargers did this season, and last season it was kind of the same these past 2 seasons. So maybe Joe Lombardi, maybe, they need someone that will think on their toes, the urgency, someone who kind of understands, what's needed, wherever we're going in the game, if we see what's working, if it's not working for us, and we need to be able to adjust on the spot. Maybe Lombardi could be that. Drunk Turkey shows the Chargers' issues were lack of running game, lack of attempts. Steelers' rushing game is heading in the right direction. Need a pass game coordinator to improve the concepts to pair with the Canada run game. So we need So you think that we need a pass game coordinator to improve the concepts to pair with the Cannon game? Hey, that's not a bad idea because we saw the run game get a lot better this season, right? And then we saw what happens when we incorporate George Pickens as much as we can, just getting the ball into our main players' hands. Even Pat Freiermuth, getting the ball to him more. Like, hello, we saw how much he's been able to do with us since he joined the Steelers. So that is a good point. That is a good point. Having something that can help one another, balance each other off. Like if you can have, if we're able to balance each other out, then we're unstoppable, man. As good as the San Francisco is, it's still have not won a Super Bowl and looking for another quarterback, probably is what he meant to say. Yeah, dude, like how crazy was that, man? Like Brock Purdy and then their fourth string quarterback. Oh, that just gives me anxiety thinking about it. It's not even our team. Like, I remember when Kenny went out and like Mason wasn't active and Mitch was already out and they were like, if like Zach Gentry is gonna be your quarterback if your quarterback goes out, man, like you're gonna have to rely on Zach Gentry to be there for you. And we're just like, well, what are you gonna do with that? Let's see. They just need more quarterbacks. They do because we just literally we're in the same position right now. We've seen what happened. We've seen so many quarterbacks go out this season. We saw teams panic. Not just us. When we're sitting on the ends of our toes, it's like, oh my God, who's going to be our quarterback if this guy goes out? Well, who's going to be our quarterback if our third string goes out? And you don't have a fourth string. It's like, well, they're lucky that they had a fourth string, but when your fourth string goes out, what are you going to do? You put the injured guy back in? Can't really do much about that. George. Hi, George. How are you today, bud? Brian Grease is that how you say his name? Grease has been doing a good job as quarterback coach, and San Francisco may be a good candidate as offensive coordinator. That is a good point. Didn't think about it like this. She says I say that half jokingly, of course. Well, of course. I wonder, do you guys think that, oh God, I don't want to talk about the draft yet, you guys. It's too early to talk about the draft, but I'm just curious. Like, I still ponder, like, are we going to maybe deep in the draft pick up somebody? But it's like these quarterbacks coming in the NFL, like, they probably want to, I don't know. Are they okay with being backup quarterbacks? It's weird because there's so many teams now that are like, they're filling up their quarterback spots really fast because the competition of the quarterbacks are just going up. She says, sounds like greasy. Greasy. Okay, so greasy. Greasy. Like greasy. Like grease. Brain greasy. 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 Okay. That's cool. Well, I'll have to do some looking into them because this is going to be very interesting to see what happens towards the end of the season. So, okay. We have 2 weeks till the Super Bowl, which means 2 weeks till the end of the NFL season officially. And we go into speculation mode. We go into draft mode, mock drafts. Who are we going to get? Who do we need? Who do we want? Goodness gracious, this offseason I'm bracing and preparing for because, man, it sucks when football season ends. It's like, what are you going to do now? All you can do is speculate or just wait for some breaking news to happen or who's going to get traded, awaiting the trades, free agents. Man, it's going to be interesting. But anyways, you guys, I got to go. I got to get out of here. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. It's been a blast. Next week, I will be back at my regular time, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. My schedule's been all over the place, so I really apologize for the all over the place schedule. So lunchtime is over, back to work. Y'all have a great rest of your Thank you, Pepper. It was good for you to be here. I'm so glad for you to be here. Please come back next week. Bye, Jersey boy. You guys have a great rest of your day over there on the East Coast. And here we go, Steelers. Have a great rest of your week.